welcome to our last section. I'm really happy and honored to present the last two guest speakers, and this will be a special section, so they will speak together. We will have Francesca Ambrogetti from Buenos Aires, and Francesca is a journalist at ANSA, International News Agency, at the Office of Buenos Aires, and Sergio Rubin, who works at Clarín, the newspaper Clarín. I just want to mention their very important book called El Jesuita, Conversation with Cardinal Jorge Bergoglio, that was published in 2010. So I was talking before with Sergio, and he told me that in order to publish this book, to write this book, they had regular meetings with Cardinal Bergoglio for 2 years, every month, very early in the morning, because Cardinal Bergoglio is a morning person. And so this long-term friendship with Cardinal Bergoglio allowed the writing of this book. That was basically the only biography available when Cardinal Bergoglio became Pope. Now the book has been published in a new edition with a translation in English, Pope Francis, His Life in His Own Words, Conversation with Jorge Bergoglio, and translated also in 14 languages. Now we will proceed in this way. Since it's a panel with 2 speakers, we will have Francesca Ambrogetti's presentation, and then Sergio Rubin's presentation, and the Q&A will be at the end for both. Now, Francesca Ambrogetti has provided the text for her talk for different reasons. First of all, she's in Buenos Aires. We don't know what can happen with technology, and she wants to say that with the text it will be easier to follow. Francesca, thank you so much for being with us. We cannot hear you. Just
Sure.
Okay, now we can hear you. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, buenas tardes, o como le gusta decir al Papa, buonasera. First song, you listening? Okay? It's okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of all, I would like to thank you for your invitation to this prestigious event, and also excuse myself for not being able to be here with you. Taking part in the seminar meant for me facing 3 challenges. The first one was to address a top-level and highly educated audience. The second one was to give my speech after very, very important lecturers. And last but not least, speaking English, which was totally an act of courage, considering my bad level of English and my bad pronunciation. So please be kind to me. Thank you. I have told the story the Jesuit. Thank you very much. I have told the story the Jesuit several times, but maybe you would like to hear it again briefly from my mouth. It is an literary biography published with Sergio Rubin in 2010 that was drawn to reflect the memories and the epilogue of an appreciated yet unpopular South American cardinal who was about to retire, and finally came the prologue of a great pope. In early April, 2001, I ranked the Archbishopric of Buenos Aires to invite Cardinal Bergoglio a meeting with foreign correspondents. I was surprised that he himself took the call and that I didn't need to talk to any secretary to get through to him. That was only one of the first surprises that would follow. Even today, his astonishing attitude seemed to continue. The second surprise, with that he accepted my invitation, considering he was a bit reluctant to talk to the press. And the third one was that he refused to be picked up, saying that he would take the public transport, as he was used to. Let's say that public transport in Buenos Aires might not be the most comfortable travel option. The meeting was on April the 10th. He came by himself dressed as a humble priest on foot, since the bus stop was 2 blocks away from the place of meeting. For this reason, one of my colleagues whispered in my ear and asked me if it was sure he was the cardinal or if he was one of his assistants. People were really impressed seeing that he showed us now a humble, close, kind, and affectionate attitude, in contrast with this intelligent, informed, and accurate perception of reality, reflected in his answer to our question. He talked about the Argentine crisis that would unleash by the end of the years, about the world context, the situation of the church, and his own vision. At that time, it is already clear to us that Bergoglio had a coherent thinking and life, and that it should be revealed in a book. His opinion on the future Pope's profile. His reply was certain and very emphatic. A shepherd, only a word, a shepherd. At that time, we were very, very far from imagining when he was that almost 12 years later, he would be called up by the College of Cardinals to lead a church muddled into a deep-rooted and almost unprecedented crisis. To get it back on track, it was necessary to introduce an essential renewal and change several structures, as many people considered it. Sergio Rubin will address more deeply these two challenges later on, based on his experience as a renowned journalist specialized in religious affairs. As regards the word revolution, which is feared by many people and decided by others, which I would dare to say that Francis is trying to carry it out in the most difficult place in our consciousness, totally in line with the Christian message. I believe that change is only possible if it is born not only in the mind, but in the heart. If we change or way of thinking and feeling as the Pope is continuously demanding. This revolutionary book that is widening the scope of reference more and more every day is experiencing some resistance within his own church. But surprisingly, he is gaining more support by those who don't belong to it. I wonder in what kind of church and world the overwhelming majority of cardinals who voted for Jorge Bergoglio as Peter's successors was thinking of. I can recall how far-sighted other conclaves were in the past, especially the one held in 1963 that elected Paul VI. He was the Pope that invited Soviet leaders to come to the Vatican and who encouraged that the two big blocs broke the ice, preventing an armed conflict that could have led to a human disaster. And in 1978, when John Paul II, the Polish cardinal, was chosen as the right figure to face a war that would undergo the beginning of new and different war scenarios after the Berlin Wall. I think they must have thought about the great current challenges, such as the great the increasing concentration of wealth, which bring about that wide social sector experience marginal condition at many levels in almost every country, and the poverty to which several nations seem to be down. A world where the recent economic crisis have created misery pockets in wealthy countries, which are discovering peripheries in their own borders, while emerging countries are seeing a central role and to have a stand, all of which has been denied for so long. And who is better than the Argentine cardinal who has come from the other side of the world to fight for justice. He was right there in shanty towns, Las Villas Miserias de Buenos Aires, shanty towns of the suburbs of the Argentine capital, seeing misery face to face, doing a silent job. He literally trod in the mud many times on rain days during pilgrimage in shanty towns where streets are unpaved, and he would end up with the same black trouser he wears today, all dirty, stained to his knees. He was the one who defined injustice as intolerable, unbearable, in a slum in Rio de Janeiro, and an icon of marginality and extreme misery. And who could be better than the Argentine cardinal, who has been always committed to ecumenism and interreligious talks to work for peace in the most difficult place, the Middle East. He also encouraged closer relations with Judaism as no one else before. Rabbi Skorka might have given evidence about this. But also has worked with Muslims and representative of other religions to get closer to each other. He is willing to pay attention to everybody and believes in and promotes a culture of reunion. I remember March last year, an Italian priest was interviewed on the day of the Mass of the beginning of his papacy, and he expressed the following fall of joy and enthusiasm. Questo Papa non solo cambierà il mondo, non solo cambierà la Chiesa, cambierà il mondo. Not only will this Pope change all church, but also the world. Francis had just shown a few signs, but they were enough for that priest to show his faith and his hope in the better future led by the hand of a new Pope. I can also remember that after his first 3 months, rumors had inducted Pope Francis' honeymoon with the people would soon be over. This was a wrong. After almost 1 year, enthusiasm is still on the rise. According to a recent survey carried out in Italy, trust on the church grew 12% last year, while 70% of the people lost their trust in political institutions. 87% considered that Francis was giving a gasp of fresh air to the church. This revitalized and first generation church will regain its lost central role in the West, wishes to hear in the world through the Pope that is leaving a deep trace in the Catholic people and in all men and women of good will. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Francesca Ambrogetti. And now, I want to introduce Sergio Rubin. He will deliver his talk in Spanish, and we will have the translation.
Bien. Soy la oveja negra, ¿no? El único que no va a hablar en inglés.
I'm the black sheep, the only one who won't be speaking in English. Good afternoon, I'm the interpreter.
Okay. Thank you. Gracias por la invitación.
Thank you for the invitation.
Como periodista que desde hace más de 30 años me ocupo de los temas religiosos y
I've
medio.
been dealing with, this is going to be a little bit, do you prefer us to go, Sam?
Yes.
It prefers to go back and forth, maybe, so that people aren't hearing both languages? I don't know. Habían previsto que usted hablara y que yo hablara al mismo tiempo, pero creo que muchas personas están oyendo los dos idiomas a la vez. O no? Are you hearing mostly the English? May I just take a poll?
You're on the mic, who's not?
Okay, then, entonces, sí, usted, por favor. Si gusta comenzar de nuevo. Sí,
Vamos, para por par.
no, vamos a ir adelante, simultáneamente.
Voy a la tercera línea. Como periodista
As a journalist,
que desde hace más de 30 años
for over 30 years,
me ocupo de los temas religiosos en
I've
medios no
been
confesionales
dealing with religious
de la
affairs
Argentina,
in the media, in the secular media, in
de esa
Argentina.
condición.
And from that point
que
of
hablo
view or
aquí.
perspective, that's what I'm presenting here to you.
Quiero ante todo confesarles
I would
que,
like to above all
a
confess
diferencia del
that in
conclave
contrast to the papal conclave
de
of
2005,
2005,
cuando consideraba que
when I
Jorge Bergoglio
considered that Jorge Bergoglio
era papable,
was indeed a viable papal candidate,
el año pasado no lo tenía
last
como
year
candidato.
I did not have the same opinion.
Más allá de que pocos días antes de su elección
Nevertheless, a few days before his election,
escribí
I did write in the newspaper,
en el diario y dije
and I said,
en la televisión donde me desempeño
and on TV also, where I also present,
que Jorge Bergoglio
that Jorge Bergoglio
volvía a ser candidato
was once again candidate
en base a fuentes del
based
Vaticano.
on sources in the Vatican.
Es que pensaba que ya
I-
había pasado
I
su
actually
tiempo.
thought his time had passed.
No obstante,
Nevertheless,
creía que la
I
Iglesia,
felt that the church,
surcada por una enorme
deeply
cantidad de
divided by
problemas,
an enormous amount of concerns,
debía tener
should in this
en esta ocasión
occasion
la audacia
have the
de
audacity
sorprender
to surprise us with a pontiff
que la sacara del ojo de la
that would
tormenta
take the church out of the eye of the storm,
y revitalizara su acción
that would
religiosa.
revitalize its religious action.
Por eso,
Therefore, the
el anuncio de su
announcement of
elección
his election
como sucesor de
as
Pedro
Peter's successor
me produjo ante todo una gran
caused in me,
sorpresa,
above all, a great surprise,
luego una inmensa alegría
then an immense joy,
y
and
finalmente
finally,
un enorme
an
temor
enormous fear
por los tremendos
due to the
desafíos
great
que lo
challenges
aguardaban.
that awaited him.
No es objeto de esta
The object
exposición
of this presentation
detenernos en un análisis de cómo
is
Jorge
not to get
Bergoglio
mired in
llega a
analysis
ser
of how Jorge
el Papa
Bergoglio became Pope Francis.
solo quiero destacar
I just want to
la
highlight the
audacia que
boldness
tuvieron esta
these-
vez
this
los
time
cardenales
the cardinals exhibited
al apostar por algo
in
novedoso.
taking a chance on something completely new.
El primer Papa del Nuevo
The
Mundo,
first Pope of the New World,
el primer Papa de
the
la
first
periferia,
Pope from the periphery,
del fin del
the
mundo,
end of the world,
diría él.
he would say.
El primer Papa
The first
jesuita.
Jesuit Pope.
Y el hecho
And
de
the
que eso
fact that
implicaba
this implied
un cambio de perfil,
a change in the
más
profile,
pastoral y de línea
more
más
pastoral
abierta,
and open-ended, or
junto
more
con una
open-ended
marcada
direction, along with a
preocupación
marked
social
concern for social
del
justice.
ocupante de la silla de Pedro.
And this all happened in terms of the change in profile of the occupier of Peter's
Y
chair.
agregaría una
And I would have
especial
to add
atención
a special
al tercer
attention to the third world.
En ese sentido,
In this sense,
encuentro
I do
ciertos
find that
puntos
there
en
are
común
certain
con la
common
sucesión de
grounds
Pío
in
XII
terms of the succession
y la
of
feliz
Pius XII
irrupción
and
de
the
Juan XXIII.
fortunate eruption of John 23.
Ello me
This
confirma
is
la
all
capacidad
confirmed
de la
for me
Iglesia para
that the
reinventarse,
church has the ability to
más
reinvent
allá de la
itself
acción del
above and
Espíritu
beyond
Santo
the actions
a los
of the
ojos
Holy
de la
Spirit
fe de los
in the light of the
creyentes.
faith
Ahora bien,
and the faith.
esas
Now,
características
these
de Jorge
characteristics
Bergoglio
of Jorge Bergoglio,
las conocíamos los
those,
que seguíamos la
they were known
actividad
to us, those of
y
us
el
that followed
pensamiento
his activity and his
del
thought
entonces arzobispo de Buenos Aires.
at that time when he was Archbishop of Buenos Aires.
En mi caso,
In my case,
y en la de mi querida
and
colega y
that of my
amiga
colleague
Francesca
and dear
Progetti, como ha
friend
contado ella,
Francesca Ambrogeti, as she has told
de modo
us,
particular a
in a
raíz del
very
libro del
particular
jesuita
way, due
que
to the
escribimos
book that we wrote.
en base a 2
The
años de
Jesuit.
charlas con el
And
cardenal
this,
Jorge
that book was
Bergoglio
based on years
y
of
presentamos
conversations with Cardinal
en
Bergoglio.
2010.
And that book we released in 2010.
Ah, puedo asegurar
I can assure you
que es el mismo Jorge
Yeah.
Bergoglio.
this is the one and the same Jorge
Todo lo
Bergoglio.
que se ve
Everything
no es marketing.
that what you're seeing and what you see is not marketing.
Él es así,
That's the way he is.
solo un cambio.
There's only been one change.
Smile, su sonrisa.
His
Eh, bien.
So I think we're going to do it consecutively. So there will be Spanish and then English.
Sí,
Sí,
para-
I'm sorry. This needs to be maybe. Is there any way to raise the mic more? Okay. A ver,
Más fuerte.
que él hable un poquito más fuerte, entonces. Sí. Oh, yo. Okay. Maybe can this be raised anymore? I mean, can this be? ¿El volumen se le puede subir un poco más o no?
Ok.
Ana,
Ok,
as long as
ahora,
we're okay.
continúa.
Esto no sé, can we, un momentito, pero disculpe, can we just, do I have a volume of these? It's
Yeah.
a little loud. Just shake. Okay. A ver. Seguimos.
The next time I study bueno, solo una anécdota.
I just want to.
Cuando teníamos que tomarle la foto para el libro, primero hubo que convencerlo.
Just an anecdote. When we had to take his photograph, the photograph for the book, well, first of all, we had to convince him to do so.
Y luego implorarle que se riera.
And then we had to beg him to smile.
Fueron dos objetivos muy difíciles de conseguir.
These were two goals, and they were very difficult to accomplish.
Y al final, apenas una sonrisa para la foto.
And at the end of it all, we barely got one little smile for the photograph.
Hoy los invito a ver la cantidad de fotos que hay sobre el Papa Francisco sonriente.
Today, I invite you to take a look at all the photographs that we can see with Pope Francis smiling.
Hay una pequeña anécdota de un sacerdote que le dijo cuando él era arzobispo de Buenos Aires.
And here's a brief anecdote. This was something that happened. A priest told him this when he was Archbishop of Buenos Aires.
Tenía que ir a una parroquia a bautizar.
He had to go to a parish to give the baptisms.
Ahora le dijo su sacerdote, le dijo, si vas a ir con esa cara de siempre tan seria,
And so the priest said to him, if you're going to show up with that same old serious face,
vas a arruinar las fotos de todos los que se van a bautizar con sus familias.
you're going to ruin the photographs of everyone who will be there with their families to be baptized.
Ahora le preguntaron, ya el sacerdote lo va a ver a Roma como papa,
Now, later, that same priest goes to see him in Rome as the Pope now.
y le dice, ¿pero qué ha pasado contigo?
And he says, well, what's happened to you?
¿Ah? Y le dice, es la fuerza del Espíritu.
And he said, it's the strength of the Holy Spirit.
Continúo. En base a la trayectoria del padre y obispo Jorge Bergoglio, y a partir de un análisis de su casi primer año de pontificado que tanto entusiasmo despertó por sus gestos y palabras, es atinado preguntarnos si estamos en presencia de un papa renovador, reformista o revolucionario.
Based upon the history of Jorge Bergoglio as a priest and as a bishop, and based upon the analysis of his first year as a pope, which has awakened so much enthusiasm due to his acts and his words, it is worthwhile to ask, are we in the presence of a renovator, a reformer, or a revolutionary?
De nuevo, mi aproximación a estos interrogantes es la de un periodista de temas religiosos que media entre la noticia y un público variado.
And again, my point of view as to these questions is that of a journalist who deals with religious topics and mediates between the news and a very varied public.
Que debe formarse adecuadamente, pero que tiene que comunicar de un modo lo más claro y directo posible.
And this as someone who should have the proper information and formation, but who must communicate in the most direct and clear way possible.
En el caso de comunicar lo religioso, el desafío es mayor porque las religiones invocan una dimensión trascendente.
In the case of communicating what is religious, the challenge is much greater because religions invoke a transcendent dimension.
Ello necesariamente nos suele hacer pasibles de acusaciones de reduccionismo o de lecturas en mera clave política.
And this necessarily makes us the targets of accusations that we are reductionists or simply providing politically coded interpretations.
Además, desde una perspectiva mediática, no cuenta solo lo que uno expone de la Iglesia o la institución quiere transmitir con acciones y conceptos, sino lo que la audiencia procesa y decodifica. Por eso, no es solo importante quién es realmente Francisco, sino cómo lo presentamos y cómo se lo percibe.
Additionally, from the point of view of the media, not only what the spokesperson
of the church or what the institution wants to transmit in actions and concepts is what counts, but what does the public process and decodify? That is why it's not only important to say who really is Francisco, but how do we present him and how is he perceived?
Es un renovador. Si por renovación entendemos haber renovado el entusiasmo entre los fieles, no hay duda.
Is he a renovator? If by renovation, what we understand is a renovation of enthusiasm on the part of the faithful, there's no doubt that that is occurring in many parts of the world.
En muchas partes del mundo se habla de una vuelta de no pocos católicos a la fe, incluso al templo.
In many parts of the world, in fact, what is being spoken of is not just that Catholics are going back to the faith, but going back to church.
Aquí en los Estados Unidos he escuchado vibrantes testimonios de gente que dejó atrás el desencanto por no hacer referencia a lo que pasa en Italia o en mi país, la Argentina.
Here in the United States, I have heard vibrant and vital communication from Americans, from North Americans, that not only have they left disenchantment and disappointment behind, but they are returning with new fervor. And this has also happened in Italy and in my country, Argentina.
Su testimonio de austeridad, de cercanía a todos, especialmente a los más pobres, su palabra comprensiva, acaso la expresión suya más destacada haya sido aquella ante la pregunta que se formuló en el avión a los periodistas en el vuelo de regreso a Roma, tras su paso por Brasil: ¿quién soy yo para juzgar a un gay? Todo eso tuvo un impacto que me exime de todo comentario.
His example of austerity, his way of being close to so many, especially the poor, his compassionate words, isn't his most renowned and known expression that question, which was formulated to the press in the return flight to Rome after he had visited Brazil. Who am I to judge a gay? Those words had such an impact that they need no comment on my part.
Esas palabras y esos gestos acaso provocaron un efecto pedagógico mayor que una encíclica.
Those words, those gestures, those acts, they provoked an effect that was more pedagogic than encyclical.
Como también despertaron gran beneplácito su deseo de mayor transparencia en la Iglesia y mayor sencillez en el clero.
And it's also been, it has really pleased quite a few people that he has driven transparency in terms of the church's dealings and a greater simplicity on the part of the clergy.
En un mundo lleno de palabras y con una iglesia prolífica en materia de documentos que pocos leen, su testimonio en una sociedad mediática lo convirtieron en un gran comunicador.
In a world that is full of words and a church that is quite prolific in terms of documents that very few read, his witness and his testimony in a media-rich society have transformed him in a great communicator.
Hasta con su espléndida sonrisa transmitió con singular fuerza la alegría del Evangelio. Como dijo la revista Time, no cambió la letra, porque no cambió ninguna norma, por lo menos hasta ahora, pero cambió la música, y esa música gustó. Entonces, qué duda cabe que es un gran renovador.
With his wonderful smile, he transmitted with unique force the joy of the gospel. As Time magazine said, in terms of a song, he didn't change the words because he has changed no norms, not until now, but he did change the music, and people have liked that music. Without doubt, he is a renovator.
Vamos a ingresar ahora en aspectos más pantanosos, controvertidos.
And now we're going to be like dealing with some swamp areas. These are more difficult areas.
Es un reformista. Hasta ahora, como señalamos, no hay cambios en las normas.
Is he a reformist? Up until this point, as we've indicated, there have been no change in norms, rules, or regulations.
Pero nos parece que hay algunas señales de que algunos cambios habrá en su pontificado.
But it does seem to us that there are signs that there will be some changes during his papacy,
o por lo menos que se iniciará un debate.
or at least a debate will be initiated.
El ejemplo más a la mano es la cuestión de la prohibición de recibir la comunión que pesa sobre los divorciados, los católicos divorciados en nueva unión.
The clearest example to be had is the question of the prohibition that weighs upon the case of the divorced faithful who are now form part of a new union.
Es cierto que Benedicto XVI nunca cerró el camino de una revisión de este punto tan polémico.
It's true that Benedict XVI never totally closed the door on the possibility of reviewing this point, which is so controversial.
Pero Francisco parece dispuesto a enfrentarlo.
But Francis appears willing to face it.
El sínodo sobre la familia que se avecina será un gran test.
The upcoming synod on the family will be the great test.
El cardenal George algo dijo esta mañana, ¿no?
Cardinal George said something to that respect this morning, right?
Además, el amplio cuestionario que envió a los episcopados de todo el mundo sobre la problemática familiar lleva a pensar que estamos en vísperas de un debate más amplio y realista sobre estas cuestiones en la Iglesia.
Additionally, the extensive survey on family problematics that was sent to the bishops throughout the world makes us think we are on the eve of a wider and more realistic debate as to these questions.
Los cambios que se están proyectando en la curia romana, la famosa comisión de 8 cardenales, el detener el carrerismo en el clero y el acotamiento de los títulos honoríficos, la mayor colegialidad que se busca, las nuevas estructuras administrativas que se están pensando, la futura llegada de la mujer, esperemos, a puestos relevantes en la institución, son todas cuestiones que hablan de una serie de cambios en marcha.
There are changes being projected already in terms of the Roman Curia, the committee of 8 cardinals, the end of career clergy, the disposing of honorifics, seeking a greater collegiality. New administrative structures are being thought of. The future arrival of women in relevant posts in the institution, we hope. All of this speaks of a series of forthcoming changes which are already on the way.
¿Hasta dónde llegará Francisco? O mejor, ¿hasta dónde podrá llegar? Es un interrogante que el tiempo develará. Pero no tengo dudas de que quiere hacer cambios. Pero cuidado, con prudencia y sin apuros. Con prudencia y sin apuros. No puede generar, ni quiere generar, ni es su espíritu, ni es su historia, ni es su tradición, generar un trauma dentro de la propia Iglesia.
So how far will Francis go? Or actually, how far will he be able to go? That is a question and an answer that only time will reveal. But I have no doubt that he wants to make changes. But let's be aware, prudently, without any hurry. Prudently and without any hurry. He does not want to, nor is his history to have ever wanted to, or to desire a trauma that will divide the church.
Su urgencia es revitalizar el anuncio del Evangelio. No perdamos nunca de vista que esa es su urgencia. El gran cambio, yo digo, ya está en marcha y es el que él está intentando presentar, que es anunciar con la sensibilidad moderna un mensaje que tiene 2000 años.
His only urgency, and let's be aware, the changes are already on the way. His only urgency is to present with a modern sensibility a message that is 2,000 years old.
En definitiva, para mí, en este sentido, es también un reformista.
Definitely then, for me, in this particular sense, he is also a reformist.
Finalmente, ¿es un revolucionario?
Finally, is he a revolutionary?
Debo reconocer que la pregunta parece casi un exabrupto.
I must admit the question seems almost impertinent.
Sin embargo, Considero que lo es, en el sentido de que está llevando adelante, a mi criterio, una suerte de revolución cultural en la Iglesia.
Nevertheless, I consider that he is a revolutionary, in my opinion, because he is moving ahead with a kind of cultural revolution in the church.
Porque, a mi juicio, después de siglos en los que la institución pareció privilegiar la culpa y la condena, o por lo menos así lo percibió buena parte de la sociedad, Francisco está volviendo a colocar el amor en el centro y por encima de todo.
Because, in my opinion, after centuries in which the institution seemed to privilege guilt and condemnation, or at least that's what was perceived by a great part of society, Francis is once again placing love at the center and above all other things.
No es que, como se dijo erróneamente, quiera abolir el pecado, sino recordar que el poder redentor del amor es más fuerte que todas las debilidades humanas.
She does not want to abolish sin, as some have said erroneously, but to remind us that the redemptive power of love is stronger than all human frailties and weaknesses.
Y el colocar por encima el amor supone no solo ser comprensivos y saber perdonar, sino testimoniarlo con el prójimo o ante el prójimo. Supone no obsesionarse con las cuestiones sexuales, no hablar solo de la protección del comienzo de la vida, sino de todo su proceso hasta la muerte natural.
And to place love above all means not only to be understanding and to know how to forgive, but to be able to live and witness this truth with our fellow men and women. It means not to become obsessed with sexual matters, not to only speak of protecting life at its very beginning, but throughout its entire process until a natural death occurs.
Supone comprometerse en serio con la justicia social y la paz. Supone dialogar y ponerse en el lugar del otro. Supone respetar la libertad de todos, pero no callar el mensaje cristiano.
It means to take on a serious commitment to social justice and peace. It means to dialogue and place oneself in the other's shoes. It means to respect the liberty and freedom of all, but not to silence the Christian message.
Supone proclamar con alegría el Evangelio, ser felices, aquí sabiendo además que hay una vida eterna. Al fin de cuentas, el mensaje cristiano es amorosa y pacíficamente revolucionario.
It means to proclaim the gospel with joy, to be happy in this life, knowing additionally that an eternal life exists. At the end of the day, the Christian message is loving and peacefully revolutionary.
Llegados hasta acá es momento de preguntarnos si los católicos, el clero y los fieles serán también renovadores, reformadores y revolucionarios al estilo de Francisco. ¿Solo lo aplaudirán o efectivamente lo seguirán?
Having come this far, now is the moment to ask ourselves if Catholics, the clergy, and the faithful will also be renovators, reformers, and revolutionaries like Francis. Will we just applaud, or will we actually follow him?
Quizá a los argentinos se nos acusa de muy egocéntricos, de carentes de humildad. Cuando al Papa lo eligieron, yo estaba en Roma.
It's possible we Argentinians, are accused of being egocentric, of lacking in humility. Now, when the Pope was elected, I was in Rome.
Y me decían, al ver la elección de Francisco, los periodistas de todo el mundo me decían, por fin hemos conocido a un argentino humilde.
And all the newspapermen and women and the journalists around the world saw the election of the Pope, witnessed it. They said to me, we have finally met one Argentinian who is humble.
Pero, digo, quizás por tanto caiga en un exceso de optimismo.
And that's why maybe, possibly, I feel an excessive or too much optimism.
Y esté empujado muy subjetivamente por deseos de cambios, de renovaciones.
And I may be subjectively really driven by my own desires of change and renovation.
Pero una cosa es cierta,
But one thing is absolutely true.
una persona solo no puede cambiar una institución.
One person by themselves, alone, cannot change an institution.
Juan Pablo II, con su enorme carisma, fue 4 veces a Brasil.
John Paul II, with his enormous charisma, went 4 times to Brazil.
Y el catolicismo no paró de caer en picada.
And Catholicism there was not stopped from its steep decline.
Si la comunidad no acompaña esto que pide el Papa, salir al encuentro de la gente,
If the community doesn't go along with what the Pope is asking, this encounter with others,
no solo abrir la puerta de los templos,
not just opening up the doors to all the churches,
sino salir a buscar a la gente,
but going out to meet and to encounter people.
él solo no podrá cambiar las cosas.
By himself, he will not be able to change things.
Y termino. La primera inspiración, se ha dicho mucho esto aquí, me repito, pero déjenme terminar así. La primera inspiración del nuevo Papa fue haber tomado el nombre del gran santo de los pobres.
And to conclude, this has been said frequently already today, but allow me to repeat. The first inspiration of this new Pope was to have taken the name of the great saint of the poor.
Todo un programa, como se ha dicho aquí.
In and of itself, a complete plan and program, as has been said here.
No olvidemos que San Francisco de Asís fue también a su manera un renovador, un reformista y un revolucionario. Muchas gracias.
Let us not forget that St. Francis of Assisi, in his own way, was a renovator, a reformist, and a revolutionary. Thank you very much.
So we have 2 really fascinating papers, and now we'll try to have a Q&A from Chicago to Buenos Aires. I will do it this way. We can collect 3 questions, and then they will both answer to the 3 questions, because I think it's the easiest way. So if there are questions, just...
I just have a simple question. You mentioned that when he was bishop in Argentina, he was unpopular, and I just wondered why.
Solo dije que no sonreía.
I just said he didn't smile.
Oh, okay.
Debo decir que quizás no era conocido como el arzobispo de Buenos Aires, pero resultaba para algunos, como buen jesuita, un poco enigmático.
I have to say that in terms of his being known as Archbishop of Buenos Aires, as a good Jesuit, many considered him enigmatic.
Solo un poco y para algunos.
Just a little bit, and just a few had that opinion.
Right after he was elected, we heard a lot about the debate over what he did during the years of the military dictatorship in the late 70s and early 80s. And since then, there just hasn't been much said. And I was wondering if you could address those years and just talk about what he did and didn't do during the years of from 76 to 83.
Poco después de que fue elegido, un debate en cuanto a lo que hizo o no hizo durante la dictadura militar de la década de los 70 y 80, y después de eso ya no se ha escuchado mucho al respecto. ¿Podría usted comentar esos años y lo que hizo o no hizo aproximadamente del 76 al 83? Oh, I'm sorry. Son 3 solamente.
Sorry.
We collect 3, so it's easy.
¿Una más?
We have heard that between the time he was a Jesuit superior provincial and the time that he became archbishop, that he underwent a profound spiritual transformation outside of Buenos Aires. We have not heard anything about that, assuming it is true. And I wonder if you could shed some light on that. Thank you.
Y también hemos escuchado que cuando fue provincial superior de los jesuitas, desde ese punto hasta el punto en el que fue arzobispo de Buenos Aires, pasó por una transformación espiritual muy marcada. No hemos sabido mucho de eso por fuera de Buenos Aires. No sé si usted pudiera comentar también.
Yo prefiero, si quedan estas dos preguntas, que una puede contestar Francesca desde Buenos Aires.
I'd rather one of these would be answered by Francesca from Buenos Aires.
No sé el orden, pero yo como estoy más en las cuestiones políticas, puedo contestar la del pasado de la dictadura y Francesca la de los jesuitas, ¿sí?
I think that,
No sé si le gustará a Francesca. Pero...
I don't know if Francesca would like my solution, but since I was more involved in terms of the politics, I would like to respond to the situation in terms of the military dictatorship.
Francesca, is good for you?
Non si ascolta bene, se puoi ripetere
Sì.
la domanda per cortesia?
Sì. La domanda... Sì, sì. I speak in Italian. La domanda per te sarebbe se puoi raccontare del profondo cambiamento spirituale che ha vissuto Bergoglio da quando era superiore della compagnia a quando agli anni successivi, se puoi fare questo percorso, mentre Sergio farà più la parte politica, se sei d'accordo.
Sì, sono d'accordo.
Allora
Vuoi che parlo adesso?
comincia Sergio e poi dopo ti do la parola.
Bueno, a ver. Al carnal Bergoglio se lo ha acusado algún periodista muy concretamente, lo acusó de complicidad con la dictadura militar.
Now, in terms of Cardinal Bergoglio, he was accused by one very specific journalist of complicity with the military dictatorship.
Y concretamente se ha citado el caso de dos sacerdotes jesuitas que trabajaban en una villa de emergencia en Buenos Aires, que fueron secuestrados, torturados y después de 6 meses liberados tras el golpe militar de 1976.
And specifically, the case that was given was 2 Jesuit priests. They worked in a center, an emergency center, or in slum. Villa de Urgencia? Okay, in a slum. And they were kidnapped, tortured, and then released 6 months later in 1973, after the coup.
La acusación que se le hace a Bergoglio es no haber defendido a estos sacerdotes, es haberlos virtualmente expulsados, separados de la compañía de Jesús y de esa manera quedar desprotegidos sin una cobertura eclesiástica ante las autoridades militares.
And the accusation that was made was that Cardinal Bergoglio had not defended or protected these priests, that he had in effect expulsed them or separated them from the Society of Jesus, therefore removing the ecclesiastical protection that they would have had vis-a-vis the military dictators.
El cardenal Bergoglio nunca quiso responder a esta acusación.
Cardinal Bergoglio never answered or never wanted to answer to this accusation.
La soportó estoicamente durante 10 años.
He stoically tolerated it for the course of 10 years.
Finalmente, en nuestro libro con Francesca, el jesuita, él decidió responder.
And finally, in our book, the book with Francesca, he decided to answer or respond.
Y explicó en detalle cómo se había preocupado por esos sacerdotes y cómo había hecho gestiones para obtener su liberación.
And he explained in great detail his worry and his concern in terms of those priests and all the acts and all the things he had undertaken in terms of obtaining their freedom.
Es cierto que por voluntad de ellos, de los sacerdotes, había un proceso de salida de la compañía.
It's true that because of their choice, because of their intention, there was a process of departure or exiting the society.
Pero de ninguna manera eso podía interpretarse como que el padre Bergoglio los estaba sacando y los estaba desprotegiendo. De ninguna manera.
But in no way can that be interpreted that Father Bergoglio was removing them or removing protection from them or throwing them out. In no way.
Finalmente, como digo, los sacerdotes fueron liberados varios meses después. El cardenal Bergoglio hizo muchas gestiones, no fue el único, pero hizo muchísimas gestiones. Finalmente los sacerdotes fueron liberados.
And finally, the priests were let free months later. Cardinal Bergoglio undertook a number of acts. He worked very hard to have that happen. He was not the only one, but they were finally set free.
Y después se ha sabido, y hay muchos testimonios muy importantes, de toda la cantidad de gente que el padre Bergoglio, con 36, 37, 38 años, ayudó, protegió y sacó del país.
And afterwards, there's been testimony, witnesses, many witnesses of many individuals that Father Bergoglio, when he was 36, 37, 38 years of age, helped, protected, and even got out of the country.
A uno incluso, a uno que se le parecía, le dio su cédula, su documento, para que saliera del país.
There was one individual who actually resembled him physically, and he gave him his ID, his identification and documents, so he could get out of the country.
En el colegio máximo de los jesuitas, en las afueras de Buenos Aires, donde él era rector,
In the most important colegio, como de,
Colegio, sí,
escuela, school, in the Colegio Máximo, that was the name of the school, that he was rector of, in the outskirts of Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires, él alojó a muchos jóvenes y sacerdotes y seminaristas que estaban en peligro.
He gave lodging to many youth, seminarians, and priests who were in danger.
Y los que estaban en el colegio veían mucha gente diferente, distinta.
And those that were at the colegio saw all kinds of people, different people.
Y el padre decía, están haciendo un largo retiro espiritual.
And what Father would say is, they're here to go through a very long spiritual retreat.
Y termino porque se podría hablar mucho. Él era un provincial de los jesuitas, no era el presidente de la Conferencia Episcopal Argentina.
And let me end this by, I could speak much longer about this, but he was the provincial superior of the Jesuits. He was not the president of the Episcopal Conference of Argentina.
Y un hombre realmente preocupado por la gente que estaba en peligro, pero también deseoso, esto me importa decirlo, más allá de que eran muy jóvenes, deseoso también de que su comunidad no se perdiera por carriles excesivamente ideologizados, ni se pudieran desviar algunos, como ocurrió a muchos en Argentina, que abrazaron la lucha armada.
And let me say that he was an individual that was truly concerned about the danger to his community, besides the fact that he was very young. But he did not want that community to go onto a different path and become excessively ideological, and even to take the path that some and many in Argentina undertook, which was to take up force and to take up weapons in the struggle.
Finalmente, uno puede pensar de esta manera o de la otra, de una manera o de otra.
Finally, one can have one opinion or another opinion. One can have this opinion or that opinion.
Y el padre Bergoglio en aquel entonces tuvo una conducta, más allá de distintas opiniones. Optó por defender la vida, optó por la paz, y como todas las imperfecciones, seguramente alguna habrá tenido como ser humano, pero me parece que manchar ese pasado, intentar mancharlo, es una tremenda injusticia.
And to finalize or to conclude, Father Bergoglio, at that point in time, in terms of his behavior, in terms of his conduct, he defended life, he defended peace. True, there may have been some imperfections as any human being, but to soil or tarnish that time, to soil it or tarnish it, appears to me to be an enormous injustice.
I answer in Spanish or in Italian? In italiano o spagnolo?
Spagnolo.
Come rispondo?
Spagnolo.
español. Contesto en español. El recorrido espiritual de Francisco.
I'm not getting enough.
Aspetta un attimo.
Is somebody translating? I'm to translate from her Spanish. Her Spanish is no hay suficiente información coming through. There's not enough information coming. It's being cut off.
Francesca, try to speak lower.
Okay.
I think it's the connection, but
Creo que el recorrido espiritual de Francis, el Papa, está marcado por la coherencia y por el crecimiento.
I think that Pope Francis's development, spiritually speaking, is marked by coherence and by development or evolution.
Su hermana, Sister Elena, que lo conoce mejor que nadie, dice que él nunca cambió, lo conoce desde niño, y me ha asegurado personalmente que nunca cambió. Su fe, que viene de niño, ha sido siempre la misma.
His sister, Sister Elena, who knows him well, knows him better than anyone, has said that he has never changed since he was a child. She has assured me, guaranteed me personally, that he has never changed and that the faith that he has had since he was a child remains the same.
Sin embargo, seguramente, a lo largo de toda su carrera, ha tenido un enorme crecimiento espiritual y creo que ese crecimiento se hizo más grande cuando empezó a trabajar concretamente con la gente.
Nevertheless, in the course of his very long career, there's no doubt been great spiritual growth or development. And I think that even increased, that growth or development advanced even more when he began to work with people.
Es esa riqueza de ese trabajo de campo, trabajo personal, que nadie conocía, trabajo en los hospitales, en las cárceles, en los barrios pobres, con las asociaciones que luchaban contra el trabajo esclavo. Ese trabajo ha hecho toda esa gran riqueza que él ha llevado ahora a Roma y que hace que la gente lo sienta tan, es una de las cosas que hace que la gente lo sienta tan cercano.
That richness that came about from his work in the field, personal work that no one knows about, in hospitals, in jails, in the poor neighborhoods, with associations that were working against unfair labor situations. That richness he took to Rome, and that's, I think, why people, one of the reasons why people actually feel that he is so close to them.
Termino con una frase divertida, ya que mencioné la hermana, una frase divertida que ella suele decir, que como repito, lo conoce bien. Ella se pregunta, ¿sabrán en realidad los cardenales lo que hicieron eligiendo a mi hermano como papa? Se pregunta muchas veces eso.
I'm going to conclude by repeating a phrase that I take from his sister, and it's a kind of a fun phrase, but what she says, and she says it often, I wonder if the cardinals knew what they were doing when they elected my brother as pope.
Pero no contestó exactamente la pregunta. Sí.
Sí, repita por favor, entendí que era sobre el crecimiento espiritual, ¿no? No
Sí,
entendí.
lo es, pero específicamente tiene que ver con lo que se llama una conversión que ocurrió cuando salió de provincial y cuando fue mandado a Alemania para estudiar y volvió a Córdoba y estaba 2 años, tengo entendido, en una parroquia, cuando algunos dicen que experimentó el fracaso, un sentido de haber fracasado, en cierto sentido, y que le ayudó, no sé, conocerse mejor, etc. No sé si usted en su biografía ha podido detectar lo que le pasó en ese momento.
Do we need it translated to English?
Yes, un momentito, doña Francesca, voy a traducir al inglés. So the question was not really answered. It really has to do with the conversion or process of being converted. When he left as a provincial, he went to Germany. He was sent to Germany to study, returned to Córdoba for 2 years at a parish, and he had the experience of this sense of failure, of having failed, which allowed him to get to know himself better. I don't know if you as the biographer in your biography have a sense of this particular period. Ahora sí.
Él nos habló, en las conversaciones con Sergio, nos habló de momentos de gran oscuridad y momentos de gran luz, que también lo asustaban un poco, porque veía con claridad a lo mejor sus pecados o sus imperfecciones. Probablemente esos momentos ocurrieron en Córdoba, tiene razón, porque fue una etapa de retiro de alguna manera de las actividades. Pero no sabemos, creemos que concretamente ocurrieron allí, no sabemos más que esto. Hubo momentos de oscuridad, hubo momentos de luz, y probablemente coinciden con esta conocerse a sí mismo, tener una iluminación, es probable que ocurrió en esa época. No estamos seguros.
He spoke to us in the conversations that we had with Sergio of moments of great darkness and moments of light, both of them fearsome. Those of light probably fearsome because he saw with great clarity his sins or imperfections. We do know of these moments of great darkness and great light. They may have coincided with this period because this was a period of retreating from activities. So we do think that it may have occurred then. It might have coincided with that particular period in time, but we are not exactly sure.
So there are the last two questions, please.
Okay, this question could be for both of you as journalists and writers, but I'll address it to Mr. Rubin. Using the title, I guess, of this portion of our day, the question about is Pope Francis a renovator, reformer, revolutionary? What I read, at least some German commentators in the German media anyway, using perhaps those terms or some idea of those terms, have kind of sought to draw a kind of a cautionary comparison to Mikhail Gorbachev of the Soviet Union. And they've coined a term they call Papastroika, like perestroika. And his efforts, at least Gorbachev's, to reform an institution that in the end turned out to be remarkably fragile. And so I was wondering if you could kind of comment on that particular concern. Not so much looking at Pope Francis, but looking at the institution that he is seeking to renovate, reform, or maybe revolutionize. And maybe just comment specifically on where you see the greatest fault lines within this institution. Perhaps the kind of weaknesses...
I'm sorry, but...
Oh, I'm sorry, it is a long question.
Yes.
La pregunta podría ser para ambos como periodistas, pero se la voy a dirigir al señor Rubén. Viendo el título de lo que ha sido el día de hoy, que si el Papa es renovador, reformista o revolucionario, me quisiera referir a algunas noticias, a algunos textos que han salido en los medios alemanes que han hecho una comparación, manteniendo las proporciones, por supuesto, a Mikhail Gorbachev en la Unión Soviética. De hecho, han hablado de papastroika y hablan de que si en efecto Gorbachev quiso renovar esta institución que a final de cuentas resultó ser muy frágil. Entonces quisiera que usted comentara en cuanto al Papa Francisco, si esta institución, la que él quiere o renovar o reformar o revolucionar, viéndolo como si hubiera un terremoto, dónde están las líneas, los puntos débiles, los puntos en los que se quebraría, en este caso, la institución, y si pudieran comentar acerca de eso. I don't know if it's got any...
I think so, from what I can understand in Spanish. Basically looking at where is the institution most fragile, and how will Francis, how would you see him kind of adroitly addressing that fragility so that there isn't the kind of trauma that you spoke of?
Y entonces, ¿dónde ve usted que la institución tenga sus puntos más frágiles? ¿Y cómo ven usted al Papa Francisco de alguna manera con habilidad respondiendo a esa fragilidad para no crear el trauma del que usted comentó?
Bueno, él habla...
We know that during the decades of the Cold War, there were many painful situations in South American countries, military dictatorship under Goulart in Brazil, the Pinochet era in Chile, the dirty war in Argentina, just to name a few. I, as an American, know that the U.S. was involved in some of those situations. Very painful period of history. My question regards the relationship of Archbishop Bergoglio to the other bishops in South America. We have heard that he was a leader at Aparecida, that he was elected to be the chief redactor of the final report. We know that in Argentina he served 2 terms as president of the Argentinian Bishops' Conference. That being said, I know that a prominent bishop left Aparecida from another country in South America because he was not sympathetic to what Aparecida concluded. What is I guess I'm asking, there are wounds that need to be healed. There's been apologies made in Argentina by Archbishop Bergoglio and perhaps others for that very terrible time, and there's been apologies elsewhere as well. Do those wounds continue? What role is there a consensus among the bishops about the healing that needs to be done? And then that brings me to Romero.
I'm sorry, wait,
Okay.
that brings me to...
Okay.
Please stop. Entonces, la pregunta es acerca del periodo tan difícil por el cual pasamos durante la Guerra Fría, el régimen de Pinochet, la Guerra Sucia en Argentina y otras situaciones muy difíciles en Sudamérica que vivimos, que se vivieron. Yo sé como norteamericano que Estados Unidos participó en esas situaciones. Me pregunto en cuanto a ese periodo de la historia, ¿cuál era la relación del arzobispo Bergoglio a los otros obispos en Sudamérica? He escuchado que fue uno de los líderes en Aparecida, que de hecho escribió el informe final, que fue dos veces presidente de la conferencia episcopal, que hubo otro obispo muy prominente de otro país que se apartó de Aparecida porque no le parecían las conclusiones. Entonces parece que hay heridas muy profundas que todavía existen. Ha habido momentos de disculpa o que se han presentado disculpas, el mismo arzobispo Bergoglio lo ha hecho, pero me pregunto que si existen esas heridas, cuál es el papel en cuanto a responder a las heridas que pudieran existir, y luego nos íbamos con Romero.
Estamos por cambios entonces.
So we'll start with the changes.
A ver, brevemente, porque
Very briefly.
brevemente. Cuando hablamos de cambios, primero, yo hablo como periodista.
Let's speak of the changes briefly.
No como académico.
I'm going to speak, I speak, first of all, as a journalist, not as an academic.
No soy teólogo,
I'm not a theologian.
no soy biblista,
I'm not
no
a
soy
Bible
canonista.
specialist. I'm not a canonical expert.
Y he dicho que voy a una simplificación, siempre riesgosa, como la que hacemos los periodistas.
And I said I always simplify, always in a rigorous manner, but as we journalists tend to do.
En segundo lugar, si hablamos de cambio, yo quisiera preguntarle a cada uno de ustedes, ¿qué entiende por cambio?
And second of all, if we're talking about a change, I'd like to ask each and every one of you, what do you understand in terms of the word change? What's your understanding of that word?
Sospecho que encontraría opiniones muy diversas.
I suspect that I would find very different opinions in this group.
Pero me parece que, yendo a cosas concretas, más allá del espíritu, que es lo que él quiere cambiar centralmente,
But I think above all, in terms of concrete aspects, beyond and above the spirit of things which he would like to transform or change.
la revitalización, como decía el anuncio del Evangelio.
The revitalization, I said, of the good news.
Hay cuestiones puntuales,
There's specific points,
como recordaba esta mañana el cardenal George,
as Cardinal George reminded us this morning.
la reforma de la curia romana,
The reform of the Roman Curia.
y en esto hay un mandato de los cardenales.
And there's a mandate that's been given to the cardinals about this. It's not
una ocurrencia solitaria del Papa Francisco.
it's not some kind of solitary idea that Pope Francis has had on his own.
Está cumpliendo, no sé si eclesiológicamente lo puedo decir así, pero está cumpliendo un mandato de los cardenales.
I don't know if one can say that he's ecclesiastically. I'm not sure that this can be said, but he's fulfilling a mandate to the cardinals.
Reforma de la curia, mayor transparencia en la curia, mayor colegialidad.
The reform of the Curia, greater transparency in terms of the Curia's activities, greater collegiality.
Después de muchos años en que creció el centralismo en el Vaticano.
After so many years where the Vatican became progressively more centralized.
Esas son reformas que me parece que están, y cambios que están empezando a moverse. Pero insisto, hay otras cuestiones doctrinales, pero el Papa lo dice y está en todos sus escritos, hay que leerlo, cuando él habla en la última encíclica o la última exhortación apostólica, de la prudencia del gobernante y la audacia.
These are reforms, these are real changes, but there are other doctrinal matters, and I urge you to read his writings, the last encyclicals, or the después de las encíclicas,
la exhortación apostólica.
The apostolic exhortation. Okay, so
el equilibrio entre prudencia y audacia.
There's a balance between prudence and boldness.
Y es evidente, me preguntó, hay sectores, hay resistencias a esos cambios, hay sectores de la Guardia Vieja del Vaticano que se resisten a esos cambios, y hay otros sectores que en otros temas tampoco les gusta que se produzcan cambios. Sectores que quieren mantener más, si ustedes quieren, tradicionalistas. Esas son las resistencias que el Papa está enfrentando claramente.
And there is evidence, there are individuals, old guard from the Vatican, and even other individuals, one would call them traditionalists, who are resisting the changes. There are sectors that are resisting these changes.
Pero, y con esto termino esta pregunta, no va a hacer nada que resulte traumático para la Iglesia. No lo va a hacer, ese es mi punto de vista. Irá moviéndose entre esa mezcla de nuevo de prudencia y audacia.
But in my point of view, and I'll conclude with this, he will not do anything that will be traumatic to the church. This is my point of view. He will do nothing that will create trauma. He will be walking balance between, as I said before, prudence and boldness.
Y brevemente, un minuto, lo de Aparecida.
And briefly, the whole topic of Aparecida.
En Aparecida yo estaba.
I was in Aparecida.
Cuando se votó la comisión redactora,
when the committee that had done the writing voted.
El más votado para redactar el documento fue el cardenal Bergoglio.
The one that got the most votes in terms of writing that document was indeed Cardinal Bergoglio.
Recibió una avalancha de votos.
It was an avalanche, overwhelming majority.
Y durante los 30 días de la conferencia, cada obispo tenía que presidir una misa diaria.
And during the 30 days of that conference, each of the bishops had to preside a daily mass.
Cuando le tocó el turno a Bergoglio,
when it came to be Bergoglio's turn,
y pronunció la homilía,
and in terms of he said the homily,
fue el único que recibió un cerrado aplauso.
He was the only one that was totally and completely received total and complete applause.
Y el documento de Aparecida, contestando a la pregunta, me parece una síntesis, en mi modesta opinión de periodista de temas religiosos, me parece una síntesis superadora de muchos años de enfrentamiento con mucho voltaje ideológico.
Synthesis. I'm going to get to that the conclusion. But in terms of my opinion on the document Aparecida, in my humble opinion as a journalist who deals with religious topics in the secular media, una síntesis, dígame eso de nuevo, por favor. La síntesis.
Una síntesis de
superadora
de muchos enfrentamientos ideológicos.
It was a synthesis that overcame a lot of confrontation, a lot of ideological confrontation.
Y como lo recordaba creo que el padre, esa superación con esa teología del pueblo y esa vuelta, digamos, al respeto por la devoción popular, que como dice el Papa Francisco es el capítulo que más le gusta a él de Aparecida, esa valoración de la religiosidad popular como gran, también lo dice el antídoto para visiones demasiado ideologizadas que tanto han lacerado, han herido a la Iglesia en América Latina.
And as Father himself said, that in terms of that document giving value to popular religion and religiosity, that chapter which he says is his favorite, where that popular religiosity was truly valued, and also in terms of its possibility as an antidote to ideological points of view, particularly those ideological points of view that have so deeply wounded or lacerated the society and given that extreme ideologization.
Pero no fue una huida del mundo, cuidado, no fue un espiritualismo en la estratosfera.
But this was not avoiding or fleeing from the world. Let's be very aware of that. This was not some kind of religion in the stratosphere, some kind of nebulous religion in the stratosphere.
Fue colocar las cosas en su punto.
It was to place things exactly where they needed to be placed.
Thanks. Francesca, siamo in chiusura, vuoi dare un pensiero finale?
Di nuovo un ringraziamento, lo faccio in italiano questa volta?
Sì.
Di nuovo ringraziare tutti, è stato un onore, un piacere, mi dispiace di stare lontano, vorrei essere lì con voi, ma io direi che il pensiero finale è appunto questo grande Papa che sinceramente io personalmente sento che sta dicendo una parola nuova, ma non nella Chiesa, non solo nella Chiesa, credo che questo è stato il mio messaggio, ma per il mondo lo sta ascoltando. Io non ho sentito, ho parlato con tantissima gente, ho viaggiato molto, non ho sentito una parola contro di lui da una persona al di fuori della Chiesa, né dentro la Chiesa né al di fuori della Chiesa, negli atei, negli anticlericali, e quindi credo che la mia conclusione è che nulla sarà uguale dopo questo Papa. Nulla sarà uguale dopo questo Papa.
Grazie. Francesca is saying first of all that she wants to thank everyone and she's sad to be far, and that she is really she's reinforcing the fact that this Pope is bringing something new in the world, not only within the church but also outside the church. And I would say that with this final remark by Francesca Rogetti, I would like to thank a lot our speakers for this beautiful panel. Thank you very much.
I don't know about you, but I feel the way I do at the end of Thanksgiving dinner. In English we say full, but in Spanish you say it better, you say satisfecho. I feel satisfied with such a rich feast of grace and hope, both for the mind and for the soul. So there's nothing left to do but to thank our tremendous lineup of speakers, really for top-notch presentation. So thank you so much. again especially to Karen Kraft and Francis Salino. And finally, thank you all for coming over these last few days. It's been wonderful to meet a lot of you and talk with you, and I'm glad that you were able to meet each other as well and create a kind of sense of community. Please stay in touch. We will continue talking about Pope Francis, but mostly the center will continue talking about the things that Pope Francis wants us to talk about, all of the things that are relevant to the church throughout the world. We have a constant series of events happening. If you're not on our mailing list, please stay in touch, and we would love to see you again. Thank you.